All right, well, this is my Heng 1/16th Tiger 1 tank. I believe it's an early version. Matter of fact, I'm almost positive. I got the upgraded version, which has the metal tracks, metal sprocket, drive sprocket, metal idler wheel, metal gear transmission, and one thing that I got that wasn't stated to get was the metal arms for the road wheels, which was kind of a nice surprise. Uh, when I got this, uh, I immediately knew I was going to repaint it. The color that it comes in is more of a blue gray than an actual gray. This is Tamiya's AS4. It's like Luftwaffe gray, and much closer, I think, to what you really need. It's nowhere near done. This is just the intermediate color until I figure out which way I'm going to go with it. I just could not stand that gray blue, but this is a much better color. Uh, I painted the wheels, and when I painted the wheels, the paint, these are the plastic wheels, these aren't the rubber road wheels. So the paint for the tires was gloss black on these, and that didn't look any good. So I just went with my trusty Ace Hardware flat black, and that's actually a really good paint. It dries quick. I've had better luck with it than I have with Krylon flat primer. Uh, just great paint to work with. And you can see I haven't done anything to the tools. They, they really beg to have, uh, to be painted correctly and make them look a little more realistic. It came with the shiny black hoses. You can get rid of that with sandpaper. Just take some fairly aggressive sandpaper and go to town on them. I did paint the uh, top of the exhaust mufflers. I painted them black. Again, Ace Hardware. But there's some fingers in the way. When I took this apart, uh, in part of the teardown, one of the tracks was put on incorrectly to where uh, the uh, one of the guides was riding in the middle of the idler wheel and back. So, that got corrected. It's amazing how much smoother it ran without that being there. And then, as I took things apart, once I got the top off, the uh, the 6.0 radio and controller, or receiver and controller, it was just lying in there loose, bounce around, break a wire sooner or later. So now I've got it. I've got some sticky back Velcro holding it in place, but that was ridiculous. Another thing that they really didn't need to do was to solder the battery connections uh, to the receiver controller. I'm sitting there trying to pull those things apart, and I finally said, well, I'm going to break these apart and see what's going on with them. And they had either used some kind of paste or some kind of cheap solder. No reason to do that. The way the ends that they had on those were made to go together, and they had clear vinyl plastic to insulate them from touching other stuff. So unnecessary. You know, I tore them up so bad that in order to get them to stick, I did have to solder them together. So, you know, later date, I'll go ahead and put some different connections on. But all in all, it is a pretty good tank, you know. Oh, another thing, the hinge on that door, access door there, was so tight. When I went to open it, it broke. So that was right when I first got it. So I was thinking that, wow, I hope the rest of it goes better. For the most part, it has. Uh, but yeah, let's turn it on. So there we got the lights going. Get the radio. Push the start button. Okay, and so that's the sound for the Tiger 1. That's the sound for the, I believe it's the King Tiger. I don't know. Yeah, I could look it up. And I don't know if this is the Leopard 2 or the Chieftain or what, but modern tank. And then here's the Abrams turbine whine. But that's the machine gun for the Abrams. Let's go back to the Tiger. A little bit different sound. Pump out some smoke here. So that actually works pretty good. Comes out a little bit more on one side than the other. Sound effects aren't too bad. Another little thing is recoil. Okay, well, all the cardboard over there on the ground, might as well explain that. I got a corgi puppy, and she loves to chew cardboard boxes. And it's just a cardboard box, and what makes her happy, and that's what she's chewing on instead of electrical cords and things like that. More power to her. But the thing I was going to say, and this is the problem with the recoil built into the chassis instead of having the cannon actually recoil, is that even when you're shooting sideways, the tank goes back and forth. So I think they ought to probably ought to go with a recoiling barrel. I'll tell you what, the BBs come out of there at a pretty quick rate. They're not going to puncture you, but I'm sure they'd sting a little bit. But no, the tank drives well. trying to turn and go forward or backwards, it's a little bit of a trick to learn, but you get the hang of it. And, you know, the smoke effect, it's one of those things where it's kind of gimmicky. You know, if I was driving the tank and it was smoking like that, I would be thinking, I've got some broken rings. But I like having the sound effects. I had an HO train set that I digitized, and it had sound effects. The steam engine was pretty doggone cool. But yeah, I don't care for the decals. Also, I don't. That's another thing. The decals that came with it, I can't put those things on. I'm gonna go ahead and I've already got them picked out. You know, if anybody's interested, I'll let you know which ones I sent away for. But yeah, the ones that came with it, you know, to me the crosses are too big, and I don't know. I just don't like them that much. They're applique, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, it's just not my choice. I'd rather get the regular water apply decals, and then use the decal setting liquid. But this is going to be a work in continuous process. This is going to be a work in progress for a while. So yeah, I've had it completely apart. You know, I think it's almost a good thing to go through the road wheels and the sprockets and stuff and make sure everything's on correctly, including the tracks, and just taking everything apart. I found a couple of road wheels that were loose. You know, the screws were eventually going to fall out of them. That's how loose they were. So, you know, you gotta check stuff out. And I'm really glad I found that loose control box receiver before any damage was done. That was uncalled for. That never should have happened that way. But all in all, I do like the tank.